Hey, how we doing, y'all? It's your boy Grody here for Zudes Reviews. Here, we're bringing it back. I just got a free trial of Shudder, and you know what that means. I checked out Late Night with the Devil, indie movie, late night talk show host, decides to do some demonic activities on air in order to boost his ratings, and all hell ensues, all hell breaks loose after. It's been quite the indie hit. It looked very interesting when I saw the trailer, and it was just another Shudder exclusive that I have been adding to my list of movies I need to watch from them. So I got a trial subscription, and I checked out some of the stuff that's been in my backlog for a while. And I figured since this movie just came out, this would be the first movie I would really dig into. And given just some unscripted thoughts here, very impromptu review. I do so many interviews. It's a review here. Yeah, Late Night with the Devil. It was dope. I really enjoyed it. Just right off the bat, if you want to put a number on it, I'd say probably a 7 at kind of low ball, 8 and change at the high end here. I really do like the kind of angle that it took, where it's a very stylized period piece. I like movies that are set in a different setting, different time periods and stuff. I feel like it really leans into like the directors have to get more creative to really convey a sense of genuine nature when it comes to making stuff that's in different time periods and stuff. So all the 70s vibes, all the late night vibes. I was a very big Eric Andre fan, so anything that kind of plays off of that, of late night host vibes, is a big thing for me. I'm a sucker for it. So I thought it was really cool the way that it was shot in the 1:1 ratio. It was like a square anytime that it was a part of the actual broadcast, and then when it cuts out of that to parts that are behind the scenes, you get a wider angle and a different kind of view. Just before I get into spoilers about anything, I just want to say, was it scary? It's pretty spooky. It's got some pretty good moments of a little bit of body horror, a little bit of gore. It's definitely got some freakiness going on to it. It's tense, very similar to like the original Exorcist in a lot of ways. Had a lot of kind of energy and homages to that, I felt like, just with some of the elements that were going on. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just kind of thinking out loud again, this is totally unscripted review of the movie, but I really did like it. For an indie movie, I think that you have a lot more freedom to be creative and try new ideas. And the idea of demonic possession going down on live TV in the 70s kind of works in conjunction with a lot of the panic of the time and stuff too, to be honest. So they really play off a lot of those themes really well. And yeah, it's spooky, it's fun, it's entertaining. It's not the scariest movie in the world, but it's more about the atmosphere and the energy that it brings, and what it devolves into kind of in the end. It's very a dense movie too. There's a lot of little tiny plot threads that kind of stack on top of each other, and on first pass through you might not notice it all, and then it all kind of gets pieced back together, and you're like, wait, oh my gosh, there's all this stuff that ties back into the beginning. But yeah, there's not much I can say more without spoiling, except that I liked it. It's not too scary, so if you're not one for a whole lot of gore or a whole lot of freakiness, like, it's definitely still very campy. It's very enjoyable. I'm one for the cheese. I like things that are kind of hamming, when things are kind of hammy, but it has a good balance of it takes itself seriously enough, but there's just some ridiculous things in it. So I really like that. I really liked it overall. Just kind of getting into some of the story bits. What's his name? Dave Damashkelin? I forgot his name. He played Polka Dot Man on the Suicide Squad, the second one. He's been in a lot of minor roles for a long time now. I mean, I think my first thing I saw him in was Dark Knight, of course, when he plays one of the Joker's henchmen and stuff. And he's been in a ton of different stuff over the years, and he's a really good actor. So it's definitely really, really cool to see him take on a leading role like this and really get to give a lot of depth to a character, that is the leading role, because there is a lot going on with him for sure, because he has to switch back and forth between being a host of a show, of a variety show. It's like a late night variety show. He's trying to compete with Johnny Carson, trying to be number one, but then he has all this other stuff. He's worried about getting canceled. He's worried about getting his show canceled. That is, not getting canceled, but it's seeming like things are on the way out, so they're taking more and more dire measures to try to get their ratings up. and he ends up again fandangling with forces beyond his own understanding, which is actually pretty interesting too, because the movie opens up with a kind of what's the word, a kind of overdub of his career so far to fill you in on what happened leading up to that night. And a lot of the plot actually centers around Bohemian Grove, which I thought was pretty funny. You know, it's kind of become a recurring thing. You know, Squid Game had it. This movie had it. Of course, Eyes Wide Shut is all about that too. But you know, the whole, a lot of conspiracies about, like, you know, rich people doing weird stuff behind our back, and all these esoteric rituals taking place and being present in our media and in our media figures is it's a real fear of the zeitgeist right now. It's a real reflective of like a societal insecurity almost. And you know, it's kind of funny because it's almost kind of corny sometimes when it's done in a movie, but the way they did it I thought was cool, because it takes place in the 70s, you know, and it actually kind of fills anybody who might not know about that in on that. And it kind of has its own stand-in too for Anton LaVey and the satanic panic of the 80s and stuff. And so it has all its kind of stand-in for those things, and it kind of weaves them in together just in a very simple way to understand, which I thought was cool, because, you know, I like movies that play with realistic things that people are talking about, realistic fears that people have about, you know, whatever. And so yeah, he's part of Bohemian Grove, and there's basically all these implications that he's been doing shady things to advance his career, and now it's kind of coming back to bite him there. And yeah, the whole movie he tries to, you know, the whole special of the night is that he's going to show a live possession, demonic possession on TV, and he brings this guy in the beginning, and he's kind of like a, you know, like a mystic guy, like a psychic, and it's actually, I think it did a pretty good job with that character of like setting the atmosphere of being like a very ambiguous, like, is what's happening going to be very like real, or is it going to be subjective, or is it going to be like, it makes everything you're kind of seeing almost unreliable, even though it is saying like, oh, it's like a found footage almost. And it kind of is weirdly like it's like a found footage / analog horror thing, because it's a episode of a show from the 70s from a broadcast. So it's like, I don't know, that's kind of cool too, you know, for indie horror to do something different format. And I like that. I like stylized movies. I like indie stuff. Shudder's been doing cool stuff. I'm going to talk about some other Shudder movies that they are, you know, came up, and that I've been checking it out, and it's cool. I like what they're doing. I like that they're able to, especially with horror, you want more kind of creative loopiness, you know, because some people, you know, some studios like Blumhouse just puts the same stuff out all the time. So it's cool that Shudder's letting weird directors do new ideas and period pieces with actors who really deserve more of a chance to shine. And I feel like he definitely got more of a chance to shine. So that's really cool. Just kind of getting back to the plot, though. It's a bit of a slow burn, just in general. There are, you know, I think the main kind of creepy stuff doesn't really start happening until about maybe 30 minutes in is when stuff kind of starts to pick up. And it does get pretty crazy. Like by the end of the movie, stuff starts to happen, and it's pretty insane. But yeah, I think a lot of the tension of and the anxiety of, you know, everybody starting to slowly feel like, yeah, something's totally off here, and the, you know, things getting more and more tense, and you know, you see the broadcast, and then you see the scenes between the broadcast of how the crew's reacting, how everybody's reacting, what's going on behind the scenes, and yeah, just a real, you know, roller coaster of an experience, because you're getting these two different, almost separate, like, sides of the same tape, or like the same record throughout the movie. So it's really cool. And yeah, the effects are very good. There's a lot of practical effects. Some people said that they didn't like some of the CGI that it got used in the movie, but I felt like it was pretty sparing. And then when it was there, it was very stylized. Like, it looks like older CG, like not like old CG, like super like 80s style, which would have been cool if they went all in on that. But it doesn't look like something super duper out of place still. Like the way they kind of have like a kind of plays with like the digitization like look of it, of like the energy and stuff. It's I can see why some people could say it's jarring, but I didn't find it jarring really at all. I was already just invested in the story, and it's really about the execution of the story and the narrative of the acting and where all the characters kind of mentally, like how they go at each other and stuff. Because there's one character who's a skeptic. He's constantly trying to disprove everything all night that was going on with the possession, with the psychic earlier, and he performs his own kind of variety of like secular tricks, I guess almost you could say. Like at one point he does like a mass hypnotism on everybody, and it's really one of the most interesting sequences in the movie because he hypnotizes everybody, and then he plays back the footage of what happened, and everybody's like, what? That's what we all saw wasn't what happened. And so it's wild. You don't really know what's real or not as you're seeing it. But overall, it was the climax gets pretty surreal towards the end and a little abstract in the story. But I think that overall, it kind of pulls it together. It's a 90-minute movie. And I think it definitely, I think it's super entertaining. And a lot of the stuff that it says is very interesting about celebrities and about what it takes to be on top. And there's a lot of rewatch value to this movie too. Just to talk about the AI stuff too. It's a little bit shitty that they did the AI just for the one bumper, so you couldn't pay somebody couple $100 to do it. Like that kind of does suck, but the rest of the movie's good, But we're gonna wrap that right there. Just a quick little unscripted video for y'all about Late Night with the Devil. If you watched it, check it out. If you didn't watch it, check it out. But if you did watch it, let me know what you thought about it. Drop a like, and I'll talk to you another time about some other movies. Hooah!